getting fined like anyone else would get fined, I don't think he would continue to violate city
Well, they
code.
said the stuff is in a dumpster.
Yes,
Is it in
sir.
the dumpsters or laying on the ground?
It's in the
Well, then
dumpster.
what do you think the violation is?
The violation is it's a commercial dumpster, and this is what I hate, because every time I try to bring something up, you try to make it sound like it's a ridiculous complaint. It's a commercial dumpster in an open way, like you just want to say the sidewalk, and it's in front of a garage door, and it's got all of this rusted metal in it. Well, that's not supposed to be there.
Every
Do you ever
time,
think that maybe there's no place else to put the dumpster? I'm landlocked of putting a dumpster where I have to put a
I'd
dumpster.
like to know where he's been putting it the whole year.
I don't know, but I'm just
Okay,
asking.
before
instead of
the
complaining about it
elections,
all the time.
everything got cleaned up that everybody said couldn't be done. Now it's after the elections, and the man is starting to do the stuff again.
I'm
Okay,
just
well, like
telling
Rick
you.
said, the
So
front
I
office will look at it.
obviously had a point that it disappeared before the elections.
we went down a half a dozen or 8 times and the police went down and found nothing, no violations. When Mike and Joe was down, when the police department was down.
Well, please go there today, okay? Please leave here and go there. Like I said, I did a video, so everybody can deny everything, say the man's not doing anything wrong. This time, I'll do videos. Thank you.
Okay, somebody else have their hand up there, Julie?
I just would kind of like to piggyback on the water issue. There's no resolution for a lot of the areas in Cape Town. And I know there's a lot of other areas in town as well that have standing water that's not being addressed. Those stones or rocks or whoever said that they should be on the Second Street bank does not work. It does not make it a solid type barrier. It comes down through the rocks into Second Street and floods my yard and floods other people's areas because of the property, the industrial property, that does not have stormwater management. Now, why isn't that being resolved? It's aware of, but there never seems to be a resolution.
Well, as far as stormwater management goes, the Bimbo Site, we'll call it Bimbo Site, all right? There's no construction being done there. There's nothing being done other than what's been there for years.
But you're aware of the flooding.
And that's, the municipal authority is also working on making changes to deal with that. Like going north of that, with that construction, there's meetings constantly going on about stormwater movement, development with the site that's being developed.
Because water was used on that property in the business. And now, the water, it just collects on that property and it's gotta go somewhere.
Water was used in the Bimbo property?
No, I'm moving up the way.
Now that the construction is going on that property, there's stormwater development plan in the process of being made. Northumberland County, Mike McCleary, Conservation District, there's all, and there's different entities working with the stormwater, the Conservation District and everything. Now that the construction has started, now we can do the mandates of what they have to do.
So what happens with the damage that's already done to people's property?
You would have to either go back to Mr. Moran if you have a concern, or the county at this present time to sell it that site.
So we'd have to sue them.
I'm not saying that, I mean, to find out, I don't know what can be done as far as the resources go. But that has gone back, I'm 68 years old, and that's been that way there for many, many years. I'm saying, my backyard's the same way. When it rains hard, I got water up to
But
the
it's not
mouth.
acceptable.
Well, I understand that, but it's something that you need the money, and you don't, I'm not talking a couple $100, you're talking millions of dollars to get this achieved.
I understand that, but if you keep ignoring it every year and don't look forward, it's just gonna accumulate over the years, as it has. Look at Reagan Street alone. That is collecting more water. You can see how flooded it is as opposed to maybe 10 years ago. And why is
I
that?
can't speak to that other than what is potentially in the works, and now the construction is started at the Celotex site. I mean, that's a county issue, and not the water, but a municipal authority issue.
Anything else? Yes.
Isn't Reagan Street State Road?
No.
Yes.
But I don't think the
Well, then
water's
that's up to the
state.
state to take care of, Julie, not the city.
But the
State.
water isn't state. It's
But it's on
accumulating
state
from,
road.
it's accumulating from other properties, David.
Well, I understand that, but Julie, I live on Edison Avenue, we've had water there since I was
I said
able to
Cape Town.
wee-wee in a diaper, and we still have it, but you live with it. That's all you can do with it, you gotta live around it.
That's ridiculous.
I know,
That's unacceptable.
the problem, Julie, is your place is the lowest one on Edison Avenue.
Don't preach to me, David.
But it is, yours is the lowest one on Edison
The
Avenue.
entire Cape Town area, as well as other areas within the town, are flooded, and nothing is done.
Well,
It-
sell your
I
property and
was
put a
told
pump
by
station in there.
David, we've known about your situation for 20 years,
Property and put a pump station
and he had a little smile on his face.
That's all I can tell you to do, sell it and put a pump station in there, that'll alleviate that problem.
I lived in the Sixth Ward for 30 years. I know what a sump pump is. On Third Street, I pump water out of the yard in the basement my whole time I
And
lived
that's
here.
unacceptable.
Well, that's what, if you've been here your whole life, you know the Fifth, Third, and the Sixth Wards was swamp. That's what it is. You know, people make these phone calls about we can seal your basement. You can't seal your basement in the Sixth Ward of Sunbury, Pennsylvania. You can't do it.
So is FEMA aware that you're permitting areas in the town to flood? I asked this question before.
Nothing to do with that.
Umbrella over the city of Sunbury.
Ground, go out in your backyard and dig a hole in your ground. It's just the way that's the part of the city. It's been that way since the beginning of time, and it'll be that way forever and ever. You had your hand up.
Just real quick question, if, with this prison thing, aren't they going to have to come up with their own water management?
And they're doing that right now, and that's what Rick was referring to. They're not even sure, they're looking at 4 different places, there's all different kinds of stuff that they haven't
Okay, I
presented,
got
but
it.
yes, the county's working on that at this time.
Mrs. Docky, the best thing to do on anything with that site is go to the county meetings. I mean, they're at the point now where they're moving forward, it appears, with that site. I know they were looking at other stuff, but from the last meetings that we've attended, they're haven't signed on the dotted line that that's going to be it. But that appears the directions that they're looking at, because they're moving further with more tests, more, not so much tests as applying for different permits. And the water, and the stormwater management, once they started with those silos and stuff, that's when we as the city intervened on our end of it. Until that time, we couldn't. We did then, and that's in place. We met with DEP with them in Williamsport on different things about stormwater runoff, separation, and size of pumps and stuff like that. The municipal authority was there, the city of Sunbury was represented, the county was represented, the engineers were represented, and everything. And that is what is in the process at this stage.
So
You have to
hopefully,
meet the regs now, once they're moving forward.
so hopefully maybe whatever they do would help her and her.
I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a year, but if things move forward and go the way they were, there's not gonna be, well, not gonna be a drop, but there won't be any of that stuff.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions from the audience?
That should answer your question, Julie.
Yeah, I do have one more
Yes,
question.
ma'am.
This is probably a year old, but was the person that was robbed in front of Purdy's, was that issue ever resolved? Because I was going to follow up with you the next council meeting, and for whatever reason, you weren't here, and then it kind of went out of my mind.
I really don't know. I'll make a note and check with the guys tomorrow. I really don't know.
Because what I was going to point out is, the camera on the gazebo that points out in that direction is clear. It's not obstructed by branches or leaves. And there are people within the city, private citizens, that have put cameras up because of things that seem to happen. And there's nice film about the
Oh, we catch a lot, yeah, the cameras get used a lot more than most people want.
Is
I
it
don't know if that
video or is it
particular-
stills?
Pardon?
The cameras that were installed by the city, are they stills or are they video?
It's video.
Video?
We have different ones throughout, and I mean, right now, the Burger King area and all that kind of stuff, we're putting them back up, things like that. So, yeah, and you're right, there's a lot of people have private things out there also.
Yeah.
Say, what's that?
No, I was just gonna say, I'm not sure that the cameras in the park were part of that group that you were talking about that was put up with those 50 cameras or whatever that was put up. I think they might have been put up before that from, you understand?
Yeah, smaller.
Inside the park, smaller and different cameras.
Anything else? Yes, sir.
I just want to make a comment too, with the thing at Purdy's. There's a lot of crime goes on in the city of Sunbury that never gets taken care of. My place where I live on Edison Avenue was burglarized 3 times now in the last 9 years. I just called them today again, and all the lady said to me was, well, why don't you go look around your neighborhood and see if you can find it? What the hell is that?
Just gotta live with it.
Find what?
Well, it was stolen off my porch.
Oh, okay.
You know, this is the 3rd time I've had stuff stolen off the porch in the last, well, since 2009. First comment was, well, we'll never find that. Second one was, why do you let solar lights out at night? Well, what the hell do you do with solar lights, but let them out at night? Right? The third one today now had a gazing ball stolen off the porch, which isn't much, but it was $65 when I bought it. And I'm told to go look for it myself? What do we have a police force for? I know they're
If you get an answer
busy.
like that, call me.
I know they're busy, but, you know, it's like, let's pass the buck. You gotta go look for it yourself.
No, when you get an answer like that, just give me a call.
Is that 911 or is that the police department?
Doesn't matter which one you call, you get routed the same way.
Well, if it's 911, it's county. There is difference.
Well, when you call the one number, it still goes through 911, then they route it back to the police department.
That's true, I know that.
All right, the last thing I have on is a proclamation. I don't want to read all this, but this was just asked by the, I'll just read the first 2 paragraphs. Proclamation, whereas multiple sclerosis is a neurological disease of the central nervous system affecting at least 2.3 million people. Whereas the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, Pennsylvania Keystone Chapter reports that in our state, we serve more than 23,000 people diagnosed with MS, and that the disease generally strikes people in the prime of life between ages of 20 through 50, causes unpredictable efforts in which the progression, severity, and specific symptoms cannot be foreseen, and cause and cure for their often debilitating disease remain unknown. It's pretty much for a celebration of this week and congratulating the Pennsylvania Keystone Chapter and their efforts made. They just asked all the communities in Pennsylvania, and we're going to pass this one. So I make a motion that we just enter in that we had a proclamation for MS.
Heister,
Yes.
Persing,
Yes.
Kramer. Yes. Reichner,
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Anything else? I want to thank everybody for coming. Meeting is adjourned.
Yeah, still live.
Hey, Joe, I told you why she didn't say.